prediction about in a moment, so let us know what you guys think in chat. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. AA matchup between the Pythons and the Jaguars. Game 1 of the best of 5 series. Let's get into it. For me, though, I have to agree with you. I think that I have to give the edge to the Jaguars in a best, I think, 4 games. I think 3-1. I'm going to have to go with the Jaguars on this one. Again, let us know in chat. But QDC, let's get into it.
Let's get us rolling here as we see Anonymous, a Reflex, and LSM on the side of the Pythons. Of course, when you see those players, right, they are big name players, but big names don't always do big things. And so let's see what Timed In, Son of Klopp, and Sunny D can do as the ball is launched by LSM towards the top corner. Can't find the back of the net. Anonymous puts it off the back wall. LSM will need to find it a little bit later. He'll leave it for Reflex, and Sunny D will beat him in that 50. LSM backflips by accident, leaves it for Klopp. Over to Timed In, but he's off of the mark. And that's going to go into the corner. Sunny D, he'll get himself that ball. Anonymous will find it. Over to Reflex. Tried to find LSM as well for the tic-tac-toe play. LSM now has it. He'll try to get it past Timed In, and his team play with the Reflex will allow that to happen. Anonymous will come in. He'll put it into the corner, and Klopp tries to get it past LSM. That's not going to happen as Anonymous tries to beat Timed In, but Timed In is dialed in, keeping himself in the play and keeping the ball out of the net. Anonymous gets it past both Klopp and Timed In as Sunny D up in the air. Over to Timed In. It's going to go into the corner. Reflex puts it there even harder. Klopp pops it up in the air. Sunny D versus LSM. LSM wins it out, and he's going to put it into midfield. Both teams are feeling each other out. It's a lot of back and forth as we see a lot of action and a lot of offense and defense, and obviously hot potato passing.
Yeah, and like we, debated, True Sunny D does come in and looks good for this team. The Pythons have looked worse than I thought they would coming out here, because although the Jaguars, it's a back and forth affair, the popcorn style, the problem is that most of that is because they have been making mistouches and miss hits more than the Pythons, but the Pythons never have capitalized. They just move it downfield, pull 1 or 2 shots on, and then leave. So, that's dangerous in the long run for the Pythons. You want to take advantage of those mistakes that the Jaguars are showing right now. For the Jaguars, of course, you want to try to clean that up and get a shot on. And again, it's feeling like, first goal might come to define the series, as we said last time in last series between those indie teams.
Now, I want to point out a little funny stat that I forgot to mention before we got back started. This entire time that I've been back in RLPC, I've yet to witness a overtime game. I seem to be the magnet of anti-overtime, as Timed In puts it in, and, well, I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but Reflex can't get there in time. The demo comes in, and, well, it screws them up.
Yeah, it's a beautiful demo by Klopp, right? Heads up, he's on his rotation out, but he goes ahead and gets that demo, which means there's no defender in net. Easy as you like, Timed In can put that on the open net. So it's great heads-up awareness on his rotation out, and it's exactly the opening that they needed to get moving forward. Now, the onus is on these Pythons. They need to generate some of their own offense and force those mistakes that we have seen the Jaguars make out of them. An opportunity here, but a miss will come through from Mouse. And 2 minutes left. You really wanted that one.
Definitely did, and Anonymous needed that one very, very badly. But knowing him, he's probably laughing it off with his buddies right now, as they're gonna try and get back into this.
No, Timed In! What are you doing?
Timed In! He bodied Anonymous to stop him from getting the ball, and then Anonymous just throws him towards the ball, so they both bodied each other pretty much. And that's not Timed In's fault at all. He played it so smart. And then Anonymous just says, "Oh yeah, you're gonna body me. I'm gonna body you into the ball." And
no goal! Back and forth mistakes. First of all, give Timed In a save for that incredible, probably the best save of the night, and it was somewhat his fault because he hopped off of him. But then they're just like, you know what? We feel bad. Mouse to Reflex, finally hitting the connection, but on the wrong net. And just like that, Jaguars are up 2.
Mouse passes it to Reflex, and it's in the wrong net. Let's go. We are off 2-0 with 77 seconds left to go. Reflex with that ball. He fails it. Timed In. Passed it up in the air, and that's going to be all for Klopp. It's 3-0. 70 seconds to go. And we've got ourselves quite the opening start here for the Jaguars, and the Pythons have nowhere to be found.
No, first of all, Klopp's car upsets me. What is that peanut on top of the vehicle? But second of all, yeah, you feel like they're about done with this game. The Pythons is somewhat mentally boomed after that own goal, unfortunately, and a couple of the misses. They have had opportunities. So if I'm them going to the next game, you just need to learn to finish those opportunities. The problem, of course, as I said, is another good play comes through. Mouse can't quite get there. Klopp with the pass that timed in, and they will make it 4-0, is that the Jaguars started to heat up. They are no longer making those mistouches, and this is something to be scared of if you're the Pythons.
Yes, but no. As I said, they often meme around. The Pythons are known for, well, not known, but like the players on the Pythons are known for not exactly taking everything serious, right? And especially the first game, they aren't a first game team, right? And it's going to be in the latter stages that they come back here and flex the muscles, right? They're gonna get serious, and I don't know. Think of One Punch Man, you know. It starts off super uncaring and just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping that it sticks, and well, hopefully winning the first game. But then once you lose the first game, it's all down to business, as well, so far, so good for the Jaguars. But let's see how the Pythons, when they do get serious, fare up against these pretty serious Jaguars already, as a 4-0 win will give them the 1-0 lead in the series.
Yeah, and for me, if that's going to happen, I'm looking at LSM to step up here. He's rated to be one of the best players on this team, you know, by stats and things like that. As the Jaguars, like you said, will take game 1 4-0 of this best-of-5 series. But you know, there's the argument to be made that Mouse needs to make less whiffs, but beyond that, I think LSM needs to come alive. As I said, you know, rated to be one of the better players on this team. Didn't get to see much of him this game, right? He didn't really sort of come alive, didn't get to do much. He had a few aerials, but they didn't really amount to anything. So if I'm looking at like one player to step up, it's got to be him. But on the other end, Sonny D fitting into this roster really well, like you had said. I mean, he's just a good enough player that he fits in with these guys well. He complemented them well, of course, chimed in the MVP so far with his goals and making stuff happen. But overall, Jaguars, they played a little rough in the beginning, but came really solid towards the end of that game and are obviously going to look to take that momentum into the next one.
Now, to anyone saying that, I don't know, like Reflex and Sunny D were doing nothing, I'd say the opposite, right? Yeah, they didn't have an assist or a goal or a save or a shot, but they generated other things, right? They got the ball cleared out, they got the ball centered a lot, right? And that's how you get 120, 140 points, by doing nothing major, right? When it comes to those big stats, right? Those big point getters, such as the goals, saves, and assists. That's exactly how it's done, and that's you like to see that, right? You like to see 100 to 200 points while not having any of the big stats, right? Like the saves, assists, and goals. And that's why I think every player still played their part this game. No one really lagged behind. If anything, you did say, though, that LSM did need to pull up his big boy pants, and hopefully he does so in game number 2. I'm saying it right here. Pythons will win game 2, in my opinion. They're getting serious here, and they're just gonna rattle the Jaguars a bit here.
Perhaps my hot take is that if Jaguars score first here, and if they score first in the next game, they take this series 3-0. Because, you know, the Pythons are not a team that has had to come back from down often, and they've really struggled to do so when they do. But if they don't score first, you're right. I think maybe Pythons come back into this one. And to your point of, you know, they didn't do much or whatever that argument could be, games are not only won on the offense and defense, they're oftentimes won in the transition, in the downtime play. What do you do in the downtime? Do you get demos like Klopp did? Do you star boost? Do you just rotate properly? Do you calm? All those things can be game winners that you would never know about based on the scoreline.
Very, very true. 4 minutes on the clock, and time is continuing to go down. Klopp with his Mr. Hanky car misses the ball, but Anonymous makes a bigger dookie as he misses that ball, and that's another whiff coming out of him. Anonymous. It hurts. Every time you see that happen, it hurts. Reflex gonna get it over to Anonymous, who retreats back into his own zone, letting Sunny D get the ball cleared out off the back wall, and that's gonna go over to timed in. No one's gonna stop him. No one's gonna get that ball. Demo on LSM. Timed in, though. He's not going to get that ball cleared to any other of his teammates with that demo, though, as the ball gets cleared out and LSM respawns with nothing having happened.
Yeah, but I like how you saw some boost starve come out there from Mouse and Co taking all the boost down the side, trying to get some, boost starve, get something incorporated to break the momentum of this Jaguars team. But again, these are moments in which the Jaguars have looked shaky, but the Pythons cannot quite take advantage. They can't quite find the back of the net. They're going to need to find one soon, as they are still now, what about, I would say, 7 minutes of Rocket League dry, no goal to their name.
Right. I mean, I've seen worse, right? But it's an absolute beautiful play here by the Jaguars, really keeping them to a nil score. And I mean, off of the gameplay here by the Jaguars, really high is, well, Anonymous's mistakes, right? I would say it like that, less harshly, but a good friend of mine, I think I'm allowed to make a few jarring jokes to my friend here, but Anonymous making a few silver mistakes, and I mean, what else would you expect from Anonymous? Come on.
This is true. He was in chat before being like, I'm the best player ever in AA, so we'll see if he can live up to that. Now, if I'm the Pythons, though, again, you need to score. And it's not just about, scoreline and looking pretty if we scored. It's about your mental. And the longer that this series goes on and they don't get really good pressure on or anything, the more you feel caged in your own half. You're more likely to make mistakes when trying to go risky plays just to try to figure out what works. And that's what the Jaguars have done really well. But those backflips like that could lead to openings for the Pythons as they once again move into the offense. Well, for half a second.
For half a second as Sunny D comes in. Oh, he can't get the second touch. He doesn't have any more boost. But you know who does? It was Klopp with his Mr. Hanky car. LSM with the save. And he gets a second one off of timed in. And Rocket League does not give it to him. But Reflex trying to get for his double tap. Not going to work out. Anonymous' shot stopped by Klopp, but was a little bit high in the first place. LSM can't get the 50 timed in. We'll get it and we'll beat Anonymous as well. The shot off the post, it rolls up. And with 73 seconds left, plenty of time to come back here. LSM shot is wide. The rebound wide as well. Reflex coming in, flipping it all sorts of ways, but not towards the ball. It's going to be cleared up by Klopp. Anonymous puts it into the corner, goes over back to Klopp, up into the air. Can LSM get there first before timed in? No, he won't. Timed in gets there first, over to Sunny D. No, that's a nice touch by Anonymous. 48 seconds left. Reflex tries to get it to Mouse. Mouse back over to LSM. Timed in with the interception. And we are back into the Python zone here. And we've got a little bit of downtime as they're trying to set up. And that's up in the air. Klopp, he's going to try and get over to Reflex. Reflex passes it back to LSM. And we've got a little bit of a breather time as that goes down. Anonymous makes that save as it falls towards the front. And oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an action-packed game here.
I had said that the team that scores first is going to be the one that wins this one, no matter which team it was. I didn't quite mean that it was going to be a one-goal game, but that's certainly what we look like as the last 10 seconds go down before the OT. And possibly your little stat line is going to be broken here. You'll get your first OT.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it.
It shouldn't happen, but he couldn't quite find the goal. And this OT reset, who does it benefit more, QDC?
I think it benefits definitely the Pythons. They were getting smacked in the last minute there. They need to get back into this. But no,
time it again. He doesn't want his teammates to score. It's him or bust.
That is sad and lonely, but Sunny D.
What?
Oh, no, Sunny D.
What? And the back pass? Are we throwing? Jaguars, hello?
Where has this come from? Why is everyone suddenly playing like A's in AA? Oh my goodness, LSM tries to pass it back as he's the first man forward. Reflex gets bodied out of the way. Sunny D, he's gonna try to not flip himself into this ball. Instead, he doesn't even flip into it. Timed in, needs to dial himself into that ball, get himself a nice clear out there. Klopp, he's gonna need to double commit with Sunny there. And that's a beautiful double commit, Sunny D. He did nothing all game. And by nothing, I mean 4 saves. And he'll get himself a game winner as well.
Oh no. Oh no. I could tell. So first of all, he misses the touch, but that was the best thing that could happen to them because Klopp ends up having to go for it. It gets the saltiest high bounce that I've ever seen off that Dominus flip. Again, I think it had to do with the peanut, and it goes straight into the air. So Mouse backflips because he can't quite get there, can't read it, and Sonny D's just like, I'm gonna go, and then he just gets it over Mouse's hood, who unfortunately by that point couldn't quite recover. And like I said, first goal decides it here, and the Jaguars now on match point. You know, what do you want to see from these Pythons going forward? Because it was again a story of they had an opportunity, they should have had the game, but they couldn't finish off the mistakes, and the Jaguars outlast them.
They just need to clean up shop a little bit, right? They're falling a bit of a mess, right? And I mean they need to beat one player, and that's the Mr. Hanky car, right? They absolutely need to beat that guy. I don't know what he's up to, but he's absolutely just kicking the butts right now. And yeah, him and that peanut car, as you call it, is looking pretty solid at the current moment. And it's down to the Pythons to see if they can bring this to game 5 now with a reverse sweep. If they want to do absolutely anything, they could get swept here if they don't get serious. And they've yet to score a goal within 11 minutes, actually. So 11 minutes of play, no goals. Let's see what they can do now heading into game 3. Will they get shut out in this entire series? We've seen it happen before. Will it happen again?
Have to see. And I think it's going to, like I said, come down to the Pythons on an individual level just have to finish their plays. They have opportunities, they have generated opportunities, they look good at times, but they have not finished anything so far, and that's why they are still scoreless after 10 minutes of Rocket League going into game 3.
Heading into game 3 is right. Let's see what's going to happen in this one. Will anyone from the Python score a goal? As Anonymous, he beats out 2. Can he beat out the 3rd? No, he can't. He just got a little bit too fancy with it, and that is going to cost him the ball and the offensive pressure. Timeden has no boost, and that's all on Klopp now once again to make a save and get the ball cleared out. He's gonna miss it. Sunny D has low boost. Will he be able to get that ball cleared out? Yes, he will. And now that's Sunny D getting the ball cleared out with his Lambo. Maybe that's why he didn't have that much boost, because he had the car speed to get there, and he knew he did. Sunny D gets the ball cleared out. Anonymous in the midfield. He was gonna 50. He's gonna 50 Sunny D, but Sunny D winning that one as he's gonna pass it back to Timeden, but Timeden not fast enough for LSM. LSM passes it down to Reflex. Reflex pops it off of the corner, and Anonymous does not go aggressive on that ball. He'll go aggressive on that one, allowing LSM to get a very weak shot, but the weak shot is what allows it to go in. Had that been a full shot, I think this is saved.
Yeah, I mean, finally they capitalized. The Jaguars looked rough. Again, they started a game in which they missed half their touches. They mistouched half of them, so they went nowhere, and the Pythons were backing off. But here, finally, somebody goes for the demo. I believe it was Reflex, tries to go through. Klopp doesn't get demoed, but he lets it get to him, doesn't get up to the shot, and they end the scoreless drought. Now the Pythons, for the first time this series, up on the leaderboard.
Now, you'll take it any way you can, right? But it's still, when you look back at that replay, right, that is a ghost touch, right? So the fact that you're scoring off of a ghost touch is, it's grimacing at best, right? So it's, you want more than that, right? You want a bigger margin when you score than just a ghost touch, right? That's a 1 pixel off of being actually saved. So it's close, but it is a cigar, right? Normally we say close but no cigar, but this time there was a cigar. 3:13 left on the clock as LSM here with the ball, passing it down for Reflex. Reflex gets denied, and here's Klopp shooting the ball towards Anonymous. He'll wait for it. He'll get bumped by Klopp, and Timeden will go for the double tap. Not towards the front of the net, but towards the center, which allows for the offense to continue on here. No one's going to go for it, so now timed in, and Anonymous pushes up too high, and he's going to stop LSM from getting the ball. It's so scuffed here from this Pythons team, and they're absolutely memeing about, and they're going to get memed on by Sunny D, and he's going to give them 110% vitamin C.
It's a great pass from Klopp. Sunny D sets himself up and scores. You know, that's the problem if you're the Pythons. The Jaguars consistently have played really poor in the first minute, And then they're a fourth quarter team. They come out in the back half, the back 2 minutes, look strong, get passes on, ape at the ball, get some offense going. That's where they excel. So if you were the Pythons, you really wanted to shut them down in the beginning, get a lot more goals, but unfortunately they couldn't do it. Here, timed in, will roast 2, fake him on the touch, delay his touch, and put the Jaguars, back up by 1. And now the Pythons, they have to dig deep to get back into this one.
We've been tricked, we've been bamboozled, we've been everything, right? We've been betrayed. That is how you're feeling right now if you're a Python, just absolutely getting wrecked there by Timed In, who that beautiful aerial is just a little too perfect. And now you scored 1 goal. Can you score a second one? I mean, it took you 12 minutes to score your first goal. Can you score a second one within 2 minutes of the last one? That's what it's gonna come down to if you are the Pythons. And on the other side, if you're not kicking up your feet, right, if you're the Jaguars, but you got this in the bag, right? If you lose this is your game to lose, right? If you're the Jaguars, and you don't want to put up your feet and kick back, but I mean, that's kind of what it feels like, right? If you lose this game, you're kind of thrown.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're a much more fourth quarter team. You even see it here over and over again. They're on offense. They leave Klopp in the backfield because now bringing in Sunny D, you can see the potential between him and Timed In. They love to get offensively aggressive, and it works out well for them because they go for these incredible aerials and try to get passes and stuff. You know, again, it's really going to be on the Pythons here to force a mistake, probably out of Klopp because he's usually the third man here to get back into this one. And, you know, I'm looking at Reflex. He has consistently not performed this series. You know, this is the problem with not having a fourth, not being able to sub. Reflex has got to step up here in this last minute for his team if he doesn't want to be remembered as having a very quiet, very poor performance this game.
I mean, who would actually remember? Because he's so invisible, no one even knows that he's playing right now. So how would anyone remember that he's having a poor performance? As there's 45 seconds left, and maybe he could redeem himself. LSM pops it up in the air. Reflex not gonna get that one as Klopp puts it in. Sunny D will get it into the corner. Over back to Klopp. The shot is wide. Timed In. He's looking backwards, and so it's Anonymous up against Timed In. He's not going to get the wave dash, and he's got no boost, but he's still going to win the 50. LSM to Reflex! Yes! Reflex gets it in, and there is the first goal for him. Reflex looking shaky all series long. He needed this. The team needed this, and have that not gone in, then we would have had a good reason to be mad and not be the most nice towards Reflex. But
yeah, I mean, you're still not out of the woods yet. You got to win this one, right, and then try to reverse sweep the series. But that was why you can't back off if you're the Jaguars, because LSM came alive, really good pass, and Reflex is there for the cleanup. Finally, the Pythons working together to generate their own goal rather than take a mistake. Even then, they were having trouble to score on that. So now we get to see what are you made of in the OT now in your time. We've seen one OT, and it was very hectic, but ends up going the way of the Jaguars. If you're the Pythons, you want to rewrite that history, though still not quite done yet. This ball could be dangerous. Reflex and Mouse are up. They double for the save. Klopp still keeps this up, but can't keep it there. And to OT we go for the second time this series.
All right, overtime for game number 3 here for the sweep here if you're the Jaguars, and to stay alive if you are the Pythons. 2 goals this game, the only 2 goals this series for the Pythons. Could they get themselves a third? Reflex will pick this one up off of the bounce up in the air. Timed In. Puts it down for Klopp, but that's going to be LSM first. Over to Reflex. Reflex can't get that one in time for someone named Reflex. He has a big lack thereof of his namesake. Timed In up against Reflex. Timed In will beat him up to there. Anonymous over to LSM. LSM's not gonna get it. Reflex gets to it first and able to make the save. Sunny D, the shot's on net. Anonymous actually makes the save. Wow, he actually touched the ball. LSM pops it up. He's not gonna get that ball cleared out though. Reflex is gonna need to do that, and he's going to do it up against Timed In. It's now stuck in the midfield. True Sunny D over to the son of Klopp. The son of Klopp puts it wide, but over to Timed In. He's timed out as he's put wide. Anonymous is forced to make an incredible save as Timed In does a great redirect shot there, as that one was surely poised to go in. Time then gets bumped by his own player. This is a chance for Reflex here. He's gonna pop it up in the air. Klopp's not gonna get to him in time. Reflex nearly gets it into the top corner. Not gonna work out for him. Anonymous pops it up in the air off the back wall. He's nowhere near it. LSM shot though is off of the mark as well, and there's Reflex absolutely messing up that one as well. No boost on the side of the Pythons, and Sunny D with the wide open net, and he poops it. He's gonna
Wait,
absolutely
LSM's going for
up.
boost. He missed. He missed the boost. LSM's got no boost. He can't get there, and they will bury him again in OT. But what just happened? Both teams threw away opportunities all over the place. Like, Reflex hit it wrong, then Sunny D hit it wrong, then everybody did. LSM misses that corner boost, and Klopp takes advantage. And in 3, the Jaguars take it and only allow 2 goals for the Pythons team. 8-3. Now 8-4, both teams tied.
Mr. Hanky card came out in handy.